Welcome back, tasties and tastettes, to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your king of the jungle, Lenny, joined with Carl Winslow himself. How the fuck are you?
That's hurtful.
Is it?
Yeah, no, I don't like that one. Yeah, we're not rolling with it.
All right, well, Dante, it's good to see you.
Hey, yeah, no, that works. Why can we never do that?
Nah, that wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be fun. And we are stemming from the depths of the Amazon themselves. Itself,
yeah.
All right, I didn't know if it's a multiple thing because it's so large. How big is it, Dante?
It is 1.4 billion acres.
I don't even know how to put that into fucking like words. Yeah, let's drop some knowledge on these bitches, huh? Let's hit them with some facts about the Amazon this week.
Big facts.
Do you have some like quick facts for me? No, I know you just mentioned how many countries did you say it might have bordered, Dante?
So it spans 8 countries. 60% of it is in Brazil. And then you have it touching Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana.
How many of those places do you know?
I knew most of them. Suriname and French Guiana were foreign to me.
I know none of them.
Sick.
Well, now I do because we're there, of course. But I didn't know them before.
It's all in the travel guide.
Yeah, I read about it on the flight over. I did want to hit us with a history lesson, though, if I may. Would you be interested in hearing something about that?
Let's see what you got.
Okay, dude, I have a lot. I wrote a lot here. So, did you know that Europeans first settled upon the Amazon in the 16th century? It was a guy named Francisco de Orellana. Orellana? No. Yeah, Orellana.
Oh, yeah. Put some slang on it. I see what you're doing.
No, Orellana. It was in 15...
Decide, dude.
It was in 1541, as a matter of fact, Dante.
Okay.
They were in search of, guess what?
What, India?
El Dorado.
Oh, okay.
Deadass. Isn't that crazy?
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, I knew.
Do you remember that movie?
Yes. Movie, yeah, the animated one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's real?
I mean, I feel like whenever there's like widespread myths about this, there's got to be some truth to it. So I know. I'd like to believe it's a place somewhere that existed at one point or another.
I know one thing that's going to always be true, Dante. So that the white man will always be greedy. So
is this you speaking from personal experience?
Yeah, it's just something I think that's been proven over time that they pulled up on the Amazon looking for gold. Right, looking for legitimately a city of gold. I don't know where that story would have come from and how they would have thought that it was there. Like, I feel like I would have gotten to the Amazon and been like, yeah, nobody's been to this fucking place before. Like, what is this shit? You know,
searching for gold in the woods. Yeah.
Like, think about how big you said it is, right? And then, like, you know nothing. Like, you in the 1500s, right? Like 1541. You would have no scope of like how big the world actually is, right? No. When did Columbus sail the 7 seas?
1492, right?
He sailed the ocean blue.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. So like you would have, I guess like that you would have had that idea. You would have found out the world was round, not flat. You wouldn't fall off if you kept going.
It depends who you ask.
Yeah, that's true. Kyrie Irving still thinks this bitch is flat.
Yeah.
But within they start searching for El Dorado, and within a month of exploring, most of them had died from like the lack of supplies, the environment, whatever it might have been, right? So they start heading down the river looking for more supplies, and they come across indigenous people, and they kill basically anybody who didn't run from them. Sounds like white people, right?
I was gonna say, that sounds like a familiar story.
Yeah. I'm gonna trigger a lot of people with this. So word ends up traveling downriver, and they're attacked way more often as they continue to make their way through the Amazon River. Because like everybody's like, yo, there's these people we've never seen before. They're trying to take our stuff. We should attack them. So they end up attacking them. The attacks get more and more brutal, but these guys make it all the way through. And by 1542, a year later, they came out the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. That makes them the first people to trek the entire Amazon River. Well, of course, like the first white people
The first documented people.
Yes, exactly. So after that, the French, the English, the Portuguese all made attempts to make their way upstream. Actually, they made their attempts to go from the Atlantic up to the Pacific, go the opposite direction. But it really, along this time, they ended up setting up like small settlements to be able to do further explorations out into the different parts of the Amazon, and that's when they end up, they start learning stuff about what the people are using there. Their unique ways of like living in this environment. And one of the things that they were able to do is use sap from these trees that are called rubber trees to waterproof their items. Because obviously it's a very damp place. It's called the rainforest. Do you have anything for me about rubber trees? Because did you know, like neither one of us knew that there was in fact a thing called a rubber tree before this, right?
Bro, I guess I never really questioned where rubber comes from, but yeah, apparently it grows on trees.
You know what's weird? So I play the game Tropico.
Yeah.
Right? And in Tropico, it didn't even register to me. Like one of the crops you can have is rubber crops.
Oh.
And I didn't really think about like where that came from, or like, I always thought it was a bit odd because like the rubber that we think about is obviously tires, right? Is like the first place your brain goes.
Yeah, so I guess there's a process they go through to get it to that point. It's called vulcanization, where basically they heat it with sulfur and certain accelerators and activators at a high temperature to form that chemical bond, which helps like strengthen it and give it its elasticity and all that.
Yeah, so basically like they set up these settlements. And it's about 200 years later when vulcanization starts. It's a guy called, oddly enough, did you read his name?
No, I didn't actually.
Charles Goodyear.
Oh,
interesting, right?
Okay.
That's so. For those who aren't putting two and two together, what I assume is Goodyear Tire. Yeah. Charles Goodyear is the person who creates vulcanization, and that's because what happened was they got the rubber from these trees. Well, they got the sap that was being used to waterproof all of this stuff, and they tried taking the sap from the Amazon and bringing it back to their homes, whether it be England, France, Portugal, whatever it might have been, right? They end up trying to bring it back to these places. It doesn't maintain its waterproofness. Would that be the right way to put it?
Sure.
Yeah.
I would just say waterproofing.
Yeah, it's no longer waterproof when it gets there because it can't exist in any type of extreme cold or extreme heat. Like for some reason, the climate of the Amazon was like perfect for it. So vulcanization happens because they had to find a way to make this useful outside of the Amazon. So that's where that process comes along. And this leads to like the popping off of tire production, like you said, right? So we end up just like the production of rubber and plantations in that area all of a sudden like goes up crazy. And that becomes like the start of them utilizing the Amazon for all these crazy resources. They realized it wasn't just like a place we're going to go explore. Like there is actual valuable stuff here. The other major one that I had seen them find there was they found a plant that was used to treat malaria. Which I don't know where malaria came from, but I think like the Amazon's probably a place that they probably started, or like a pretty reasonable place to assume, right?
Yeah. I mean, another fun fact about the Amazon is that it holds 10% of the world's species there, or the 10% of the world's known species.
Known species, yes, exactly. So 90% of the indigenous people, and this is like modern day, I believe now, 90% of the indigenous people have been killed at this point by Europeans or by the diseases that the Europeans brought with them when they came into their land. Kind of fucked up, huh?
Also, again, sounds familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd the Pilgrims do, huh? Did they take out anybody when they got here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Who did we give the blankets to? You know?
Oh, wow. The disease-ridden blankets. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up. So yeah, modern day. To your point, 10% of species, the known species on Earth. That's fucking terrifying in a way, right? But the Earth is a big fucking place.
Yeah.
10%? 10%? That's crazy.
That was a wild stat when I read it. I had to actually cite other sources just to make sure it was
to double check, and it's accurate, right?
Yeah.
So it's home to 47 million people At least 2 million of them is still indigenous, I believe I read.
Okay.
There's 400 billion trees.
They actually counted all the trees.
I don't know if that's possible.
You know, speaking of not, same one twice.
Speaking of not like being able to understand the scale of things, like I don't think I can understand the scale of 40 billion trees.
I mean, billion's just a hard number to grasp, period, right?
Think about flying over that. You know what I mean? Like just endless green in every direction.
I mean, it probably looks pretty cool, but then you're like, 2 hours into the flight and you're like, damn, we're still going.
150 to 200 billion tons of carbon are stored there.
I did read that.
Despite this, every minute, 5 football pitches worth of trees are cut down in the Amazon. Isn't that fucked up? And like that's just to industrialize the area. It's like building roads. I saw like cattle ranches, all this stuff like that, right?
Well, they're also still like mass harvesting resources from it too.
Mm-hmm. But like basically the Amazon is like 100% necessary to the stabilization of the climate in the world.
Yeah.
And without it, we're fucked, right? So approximately 17% of the Amazon has already been lost. That's not a small number, people. Not at all, right?
No.
We're just scratching the surface, and I am so fascinated with the Amazon right now. I told Carl before we started this that I might just turn this into an entire podcast about the Amazon jungle, but I understand that's not what everybody shows up here for. But we might come back to this topic. We might visit the Amazon again at some point because I think that there is a lot more to be uncovered here. And I only looked up like the early history of it, and I'm already pretty fascinated. I think we need to do an episode on El Dorado at some point too.
All right.
Doesn't that sound kind of interesting?
Yeah.
We can hit like the animated movie, see how accurate it is.
So we're just gonna do like what is it, like a myth hunting episode? Finding out the secret of El Dorado.
I mean, maybe it's not a myth.
Check out Atlantis.
Maybe so. I do have that in my thing. I'm also thinking a Magic School Bus episode where we're like inside of a body.
Okay.
Osmosis Jones. Something. Yeah. So I want to close out the Amazon with a fun game. It's a game you're gonna play, Dante.
Okay.
It's a mixture of 2 games, actually. Surprise.
Huh.
So we love to do top 5s here. And we're going to start with the top 5. But I'm going to give you 8 different animals.
Okay.
And I want you to give me what you consider your top 5 of this list in order 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right?
Okay.
The ones you would be most afraid of.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the black caiman. The black caiman is the largest species of alligator in the world. We have a bull shark. Bull sharks are fresh and saltwater sharks. They once bit a boy in a lake in Louisiana.
How did they get all the way from the Amazon?
Well, they don't just only exist in the Amazon.
All right.
The crazy thing is, like, a bull shark is able to swim anywhere because they're
fresh and saltwater. Yeah.
Kind of crazy. A bullet ant. They're not deadly, but they have the most painful sting in the world. They can incapacitate a grown man. The jaguar. It's the largest carnivore animal. Largest carnivorous animal in South and Central America. Okay. So you got it so far, right? Black caiman, bull shark, bullet ant, jaguar. We have the
jaguar.
Jaguar.
Okay. All right.
We have the poison dart frog. Cute AF is what I wrote in my notes. They are. You want to look it up? They're cute AF.
I mean, it's called the poison dart frog.
Look it up. They're cute AF, dude. They have a bunch of fun colors. However, they possess enough poison to kill 10 grown men.
Jesus Christ. Damn. All right.
Yeah. Cute AF, ain't it? Yeah. Sick ass colors.
Yeah, right? Like, all right.
Anacondas. J-Lo and Ice Cube killed one.
Anaconda don't.
Yeah, that too. Also, Iggy Azalea. Does she have a song?
I don't know. Who's that again?
You know, Ziggy Eggs. Mosquitoes. I just wrote malaria and shit.
That's on the list.
Yeah, dude. You don't think that mosquitoes are like the most deadly thing there? Maybe. I'm sure. I feel like
you have the poison dart frog that has enough poison to kill 10 men. And you're telling me about mosquitoes?
You have to go out of your way to find that thing, though.
Okay.
Mosquitoes just find you.
The
Mosquitoes are
motherfuckers
actually
everywhere.
hunting your bitch ass in the fucking Amazon. And the last thing I have is the piranha. It's a fish that kills people. They also had a movie once. It was 3D.
All right.
Piranha 3D was the name of the movie. Did you ever see it?
No, I have not.
I'm not shocked. Okay, do you need me to recap the list?
Recap real quick.
All right, so we have the black caiman.
Yep.
We have the bull shark. We have the bullet ant, the jaguar, poison dart frog, anaconda, mojito, and piranha. What is your number 5?
I think I'm gonna put my number 5 at the what's the black caiman, the alligator.
You find alligator to be the scariest thing on here?
No.
Well, the
Number
5th
5
scariest.
was-
I understand, but yeah. You think that's up there, huh?
Yeah.
What scares you about an alligator?
Honestly, just the fact that they can get me on land and water. And I haven't even grasped. Do you have the size of it? Because
No.
I'm just thinking like a massive, oversized alligator, and I'm like, that's terrifying.
Have you
to
seen
me.
the movie Lake Placid?
No.
God damn it, dude.
If you're talking about a movie, you just gotta assume I didn't see it.
I just gotta figure out a way to get you to see some of these movies, so so we have somewhere to go with this.
Well, I mean, we started with pre-googling. Maybe we pre-assigned some movies.
Well,
and
I've
stuff to
given you
watch.
homework. You haven't done any of it. Can you look up black caiman? Just get us the size, though. I am honestly interested in that. It's a CAIMAN. If that helps.
Up to 12 feet.
We don't sound. Doesn't sound that scary.
No, it doesn't actually.
But alligators and crocodiles, what's the difference?
I don't know. See you later versus in a while or whatever.
What?
See you later, alligator, and after a while, crocodile.
That's
That's the difference.
all right. So you've put this little bitch ass crocodile or alligator, my mistake. This little bitch ass alligator in your tops.
Yeah, I mean, you gave me 8.
All right. Yeah. So what's number 4?
Number 4 probably be the anaconda,
Is it because it don't want none?
unless you got bun, son.
I think that Anaconda would be up there for me. Anaconda the movie, not that you've seen that.
I actually have.
Have you?
Yeah.
What year did it come out?
At least.
Get the year right.
Oh crap. Okay. I'm gonna go with 2000.
Wrong.
Whoa, for real?
Yeah.
Damn. All right. I know I saw it in middle school, so I was assuming around that time.
I believe it was 1997.
Damn. Okay. My bad.
So, yeah, I would include an anaconda. They're just in my mind like a snake. Snakes are already scary, right? Like you like snakes. You're a fucking weirdo. I actually.
I
know
do
that.
like snakes. They don't scare me, but just anaconda, like they're fucking huge. Like that's an animal that doesn't stop growing.
And it'll eat you in one bite.
It could.
You know what I mean? Like
Like
you decompose in its body.
I think
It
part of
just
what
crushes
scares me
you.
is there's no such thing as like a full-grown anaconda because they're always growing from birth to death.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Huh.
At least.
What's the big? Can you look up the largest documented anaconda? How accurate was that movie? What do you think that snake was in that movie? 100 feet?
Why are we giving me meters?
Uh,
8.43 meters long.
So that's 26 feet, something like that.
Okay.
That's not that big.
Okay, 26 feet.
How big's the largest great white shark? Wasn't it like they're like 25 feet, aren't they?
Ah, damn! I just had it.
Not to be confused with like a megalodon, which I think were like 50 feet.
20 feet.
What are you more afraid of,
Holy
do you think?
shit! Over 20 feet, but weighed an estimated 2.5 tons.
What are you more intimidated by? A 25-foot anaconda or a 20-foot great white?
I mean, I don't go in the water, right? Like, I'm not swimming out there. So I'm not worried about the shark. He can do his thing. I'm not
You've
on
been
the
on a
boats and
boat.
none of that. No.
You've been on a boat.
I have been. Won't be going back on one anytime
Ever?
soon. Anytime soon.
If somebody offered you this summer to go on a boat, I know damn well you would go on a boat.
It depends on the context.
What do you mean?
Like, are we just fucking going kayaking? I'm good.
You're afraid of kayaking, or you could be good at it?
No.
Or
Like,
you don't want to do it?
I'm good with that. Like, I'm all set. Like,
That's more the physical exertion than it is anything else. You don't.
You
generally
it's actually
don't-
more the fear of tipping.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to get yourself upright. Humpty Dumpty looking ass.
Bro. Sure, I gave you that one. Whatever. Moving on.
All right, so we have Black Caiman and we have Anaconda.
Yeah.
All right, do you remember the list?
Recap for me real quick.
Okay, so we still have bull shark, bullet ant, the jaguar, poison dart frog, mosquito, and piranha.
Alright. I'm gonna go bullet ant for number 3.
I think you're a pussy for picking that one.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm dead ass for picking that
bro.
one. You're a pussy.
Bro, it's just the idea, right? Like,
It won't kill you.
wait, did you say it won't kill me?
No, I
you
said
said it has enough strength to take out a whole man.
Not
It's a fucking ant.
First thing I said was not deadly, but it's the most painful sting in the world. It can incapacitate a grown man.
Incapacitate, okay.
So you're just afraid of going to sleep?
Bro.
Bitch, you sleep every day.
Honestly, my fear was like, right, like you pitch a tent in the Amazon, right? You're
Yeah,
chilling, whatever.
I'd pitch a tent everywhere, dude.
Goddamn.
I can do that anywhere. There's no restrictions on me pitching tents, dude.
Rephrase. You're camping in the Amazon. You know, you sleep, you're chilling, right? And then all of a sudden a little bullet ant comes through and just pow, bites you.
See, I could understand if you were like, I'm afraid of them because I wouldn't want to have to like tell people in the afterlife, like, well, how'd you get here? Well, this little fucking ant. Like I was sleeping in the Amazon.
So I think more of the fear, right, is like it's an ant. I wouldn't see it coming.
Yeah. Well, if you pitch a tent, somebody would see you coming.
Depends where.
Okay, so we have Black Caiman, Anaconda, and then Bullet Ant.
Yeah.
All right, what's number 2?
Number 2 is piranha.
What the fuck? Okay, I get it. It's fine.
Bro,
No, I get it.
You think about all like your villain movies from like the 80s and 90s, they all had a fish tank with piranhas.
Yeah, like a Bond villain would like drop you into a vat of piranhas.
Yeah, that's like terrifying.
Yeah, you fucking dunzo.
Yeah.
All right, but I still think it's like kind of weird to be like, but it's like you don't swim, but if you were to go to the Amazon, you would have to end up in the river at some point.
I'd probably have to cross it at some point. If
Yeah.
that river has piranhas, I'm fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the most scary too?
Yo, bro, the scariest one is the cutest one. The fucking poison dart frog.
Yeah, that would be it for me, I think, as well.
Bro.
I think
It's the idea that I could underestimate it and it could just fucking take me out.
and like I don't think you have to eat it or anything. You just pick it up.
So it's just from like contacting its skin?
Like its skin emits poisonous toxins. That's how it kills like its prey, basically. Because it's a defense mechanism. I think when animals try to kill it, they go to like bite it, and it's just like, nah, bro, you're dead, like immediately dead. What movie? No. So what I was gonna say is in the movie Predators, I'm fairly positive, but it was I don't think it was a poisonous dart frog because they were on an alien planet. But he uses something to like. Topher Grace uses something similar. Okay. So Leftover. I think you missed on some of these, and we're gonna come back around to this.
I ain't got no fear for jaguars if that's what you get me.
Yeah, jaguars I think is the scariest thing on this list probably.
Nah.
That and the poisonous dart frog. So you have left bull shark, jaguar, and mosquito. Were the 3 you didn't take, right?
Yeah.
All right, marry, fuck, kill.
All right.
You're gonna have to do that.
First off, we're starting with killing mosquitoes, bro.
That's what you okay?
Yeah,
no,
fuck
I'm with
them.
you.
They're annoying as hell.
Like he wants malaria.
Of the three, these are the ones I've encountered. Like I hate
malaria of all the 3 ways to die from these things sounds like the worst. Too,
probably, yeah,
right?
that too,
like
right?
it's slow and painful. Not cool.
What's my other two? The
all right, so
jaguar
you have to marry or fuck a bull shark or a jaguar.
Jesus Christ.
You said you weren't afraid of the jaguar, so I don't
So that's wifey.
No, you should have a little fear of your wife. She got to keep you in line.
Oh man, this is so fucking wild. Whatever, I'm fucking the bull shark.
And you're marrying the jaguar.
Yeah.
You know what they say, blacker the berry.
Oh my god.
So.
Oh, is it a Black Panther?
I think jaguars are black, no?
No.
No?
No.
Can you look that up real quick?
Jaguars are not necessarily black, but
Okay,
a Black
it can be multiple
Panther
colors?
is technically just a black jaguar.
Shit, my bad. That joke didn't play, huh?
Oh man.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the symbol that they put on the cars.
Yeah, sure. The symbol's black. A jaguar looks basically like a leopard almost.
I think you're 100% wrong, because you even said, dude, like, you're not going to go in the water, so why wouldn't you be the most afraid, or one of the top 5 be the thing that's the most deadly predator in the whole Amazon? That is literally the most deadly predator there.
Yeah, whatever. I ain't going in the water.
And, like, they said that, like, the reason it's most deadly is because it can, like, climb trees, it can swim, it can do everything.
Wait, you said the bull shark.
No, I'm telling you, the jaguar can do all of that stuff. Like, the jaguar can swim, it can climb trees, it's, like, elusive, so it can, like, climb up a tree and jump down onto its fucking prey. It could swim up to you, and you can't run into the water and, like, get away from it.
Yeah.
I think you're underestimating, but you're married to it now. That's bae.
Yeah, no, that's wifey. I'm safe. She gonna protect me and keep me safe.
Wow, what a first segment.
Oh man, I hate that you made me pick that.
I didn't make you do shit. This is from your brain.
Nah, those Mary Fuck Hill questions are always a trap.
All right, so moving on to the hottest goss in all of pop culture and entertainment. Taylor Swift is single again.
Oh.
Do you know that? So it must be an album incoming, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
I don't actually know who she was dating either. I just know that I came across. Yeah. It's another white celebrity. They're just pillaging all of the. No, I'm not going to try and continue the Amazon joke. It wasn't a joke either before, people. That was really fucked up what they did.
Yes.
On to other news though. Star Wars has a bunch of new movies coming out and TV shows.
Cool.
Yep.
You know, I've never seen a single thing of anything Star Wars.
I hate to break it to you, you're not missing much.
Cool.
No, I'm
I've
kidding.
played the video games, actually. The video games are pretty good.
Yeah, you're all about Fallen Order, right? Are you going to get the new one? That's an interesting little thing we can talk about. See, Star Wars did bring us some fun. There's a new game out, right? What's the name of it? You got the name for me?
I don't know. I can pull it up. But I did play Fallen Order.
Because I think this is a direct sequel to Fallen Order. Am I wrong?
That'd be sick.
Survivor. Yeah. I don't know if it's a direct sequel. I'd be interested. I only played...
that's coming out in like 2 weeks.
I only played like the first level or first little mission of Fallen Order.
I like the gameplay style of it, and then I forget what the one was that came out like years ago on the 360.
Knights of the Old Republic or Rogue Squadron?
Maybe Rogue Squadron?
So Rogue Squadron was the one, remember, you actually flew around in the X-Wing, and you would have to take down the...
no, it was The Force Awakens.
Oh, well, okay. There's 2 of those. I thought,
The Force Unleashed. The Force Awakens was the Lego one.
Force Awakens is a movie. It's the first of like the newer trilogy.
Well, there's also the Lego Star Wars Force Awakens.
Based on what?
Probably based on the movie.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Yeah, there we go.
No,
there we go.
It was a game first.
Yep. No, I'm sure they did. Yeah, crazy enough, they based a whole trilogy off of the Lego Star Wars game.
Yeah.
honestly, I think some of the fans would tell you that makes a lot of sense with the quality of those movies.
Damn.
Burned. Fucking burned. No, I think I do think it's probably a bit criminal to have never seen any Star Wars before. Like,
Criminal, huh?
yeah, I think I think it's criminal to sit on a podcast every week where we talk about movies, probably, and having never seen Star Wars.
You talk about movies. I just sit here and say I haven't seen them.
Truth be told, I wouldn't force you to see the Star Wars movies. For one, it's like,
Thank you.
there's just a lot there. And two, neither you or I would have a level of knowledge or interest, for that matter, to do it any justice that we tried to talk about them. Like, I would only do a podcast where I talked about Star Wars basically to piss off people who really like Star Wars. My new bit on, and like our buddy Hey Archer, nerd affiliated, on his weekly shows, is like, I just go in the chat and inevitably Star Wars comes up and I just act like I'm a fan of it.
Oh, God. That is a very you move, by the way.
Yeah. Sometimes it sneaks by him and it takes him a second and I watch his face slowly like, fuck, he doesn't care about this. I do think, though, like, a lot of these new shows and stuff do seem somewhat interesting. He talked about Star Wars Visions, and I will say this. I enjoyed Star Wars Visions. It's a series that came out on Disney Plus, and it's just like a handful of animated, different small stories from the Star Wars universe, but it has nothing to do with, like, larger canon. So I thought that was kind of interesting, like these standalone ones. Some were better than others, but, like, yeah, that was kind of fun. A bunch of short stories.
Never watched that either.
Yeah, I figured. I think, Dante, well, you like going to bed stuff, right? Like, you watch shows to go to bed to?
Yeah, but at this point, I've really just filled that up with mostly rewatches so that I don't have to pay attention to it.
What are you doing, How I Met Your Mother again?
Still going through Sabrina the Teenage Witch right now.
Which one? Oh, yeah, the original, right?
The Melissa Joan Hart one, yeah.
Is that 6 seasons? 8? 6 or 8? Which one?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Brother, you've watched it. How many episodes have you watched now?
I think I'm somewhere in, like, season 4.
Is she in college?
No, she's not in college yet, so I might not be that far.
How fluid
It's
are
7 seasons, by the way, so
right in the middle.
batting on either side.
How fluid are, like, the storylines?
I couldn't really tell you. It's my going to sleep show. I don't pay that much attention, but it feels like each episode is its own individual thing.
Okay.
There's, like, very vague, like, progression of the characters, but for most part, each episode is its own thing.
What do you think of her boyfriend?
You talking about Harvey?
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't like
what's
him.
the thing
I'm
about
getting
him,
I'm
yeah?
getting the vibe you don't like him. You jealous? What is it? What's the beef?
Why are we going here?
What's your beef, dude? I need to know.
Why? Why?
Which aunt was your favorite? Were you more attracted to the cat? Was that the thing?
No. What?
All right, I'm just double checking.
It was a boy cat.
That's fine, dude.
No, it's just not the way I swing. I'm sorry.
Did you see the Dali Llama? Brother,
this is embarrassing because we just did a whole history segment and I don't actually know who the Dali Llama is.
Dude, just if you Google the Dali Llama right now, I guarantee you the first thing that pops up here is going to be so fucked up. What is it? What are the articles about him right now?
Dali Llama apologizes after video shows him kissing boys.
He sticks his tongue out and makes this little boy suck his tongue.
Dalai Lama apologizes after video shows him asking a boy to suck my tongue.
Yes!
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's what is with these old fucking dudes, like these old religious dudes of all walks of life, just skeeving on little boys.
Jesus Christ.
And this man did it on camera. I read somewhere that was like, what do you think he did, like, off of camera? If he thought that was okay to do in front of people, that's fucking nuts, isn't it?
That's wild. He's the 14th Dalai Lama. I didn't even know there was multiple of these.
Yeah, I don't really understand that whole game.
It's a spiritual leader of the Tibetan people. Huh. I guess that's like their priest or whatever. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I just don't know.
You know how to piss people off who love Star Wars? Find a way to get around to the Dali Llama sucking tongues.
How did we make
What?
that segue?
Well, so what I was gonna tell you initially when we segued into Sabrina was that I feel like either like Star Wars Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels would be a good way for you to go to bed.
Clone Wars was the animated one, right?
They're both animated.
Oh, okay.
But like Clone Wars, I think has like 250 episodes. Like you could go to bed to that for like 3 years. At the rate you watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't always put on a going to bed show, but when I do, yeah.
So we did go to the movies last week. We'll actually do the show now.
Bet.
I've killed 40 minutes of not doing anything remotely close to a real episode. Yeah, we went to the movies and we saw a movie that apparently everyone else literally in the world saw because Mario was wildly successful. And we'll do box office. Do you remember last week we talked about what was going to be more of a kids movie?
It was this or Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah, I think we know.
Oh, 100%.
Determined winner.
Yeah, easily.
What do we have for numbers?
So for their opening weekend, and this is traditional opening weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they did 146 mil. If we include the extra day we got for Easter weekend, we did 166. That's not even counting for the Wednesday it came out on, which on that Wednesday and Thursday, they did another 58 mil.
So first of all, to start here, I really enjoyed this movie. How did you feel?
I loved it. I think I remember telling you, like, right after we walked out of there, like, I love how they touched on all the nostalgia of the different games in a very natural way.
Fun way to do this again, like 3 weeks straight. The juxtaposition of how we walked out the week prior, having seen the what was it that we saw? We saw Dungeons, right? That was the week prior.
Dungeons and Dragons the week prior.
You walked out not very thrilled with that movie.
No.
I remember the week prior. I was pretty okay with it, but I didn't love it. It was nothing to write home about, so to speak. And I just found it interesting. Like, I think the next week, we both walked out of Mario, like, pretty impressed.
Well, with it being a kid's movie, I went in there ready to be let down. I was like, I'll probably like some parts of this, but I didn't think I would thoroughly enjoy it the whole way through, and it was great.
Do you think you went in? So you think you went in with lowered expectations?
Definitely lower expectations than I went into with Dungeons and Dragons, I think.
Why? Why'd you have high expectations for Dungeons and Dragons? Just because it's live action, or?
I think the trailer sold me more on it, where I hadn't seen any trailers for Mario. So the trailer made me think that Dungeons and Dragons was going to be a funnier movie than it was, and I think I barely chuckled once.
Yeah, I do think we talked about last week, too, how, like, was the negative... It got a lot of negative press in the lead up to Mario, right? I think I even saw, and this is just a hilarious little side note, I'm pretty sure I saw that John Leguizamo was, like, offended by the casting of this movie. Like, somehow he's Italian, which he never was. And just because he was in Mario before, I don't know what he was offended by. Like how are we... I don't get it. Whatever. It just didn't make sense. If you could actually just get me the quote from him, because I don't remember. Maybe I just interpreted it wrong. John Leguizamo, Mario mad. Maybe that'd be fun. That's a fun one.
Oh my god.
So I did not go in with bad expectations for it, but I will say I went in with minimal, only because, like you, I didn't watch any trailers for this, and really all I had known was that people were up in arms about the accent, which I didn't care about, and about the casting of Chris Pratt, which I certainly didn't give a shit about. It's an animated movie. Like, what does it matter what the people in real life look like? Doesn't affect anything. Nor, actually, speaking of, like, The Little Mermaid, like, it doesn't really matter what we cast people to look like in the real life versions of movies either. Like, they can just be a fucking movie, as long as they, like, stick true to the source material in some ways.
So, paraphrasing Leguizamo's quote, he's basically pissed off because of the lacking inclusion of Latin people in the movie.
It's animated.
Lack of Latin voice actors.
What would Bowser be? What is Toad? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I get it. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, why did this like blonde-haired dude get to play Mario? Right? Is that what we're trying to? Like, why is Charlie Day Luigi? Like, I get it, but like, who gives a shit, dude? Like, maybe I'm just coming from a different perspective. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like it matters. I wrote as my quick review when I left the movie, or maybe I wrote this in the movie. Seamlessly works in themes from multiple games without ever feeling forced into the plot. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty accurate, right? And I think that's what I appreciated the most about this movie is there was a million different times in this movie that I was like, oh shit, they like, that's from the game. Oh, that's from the game. Oh, that's from the game. Yeah. And it was never like, oh, that's just to get it in here, right? Like, it was always like, they found a way to like weave it into the story. And it's a brisk movie, right? It was almost like the great thing about movies that are only like an hour and a half long is that you can leave them being like, I would have liked a little bit more of that. And it, not that they should give me more, by the way. I'm not saying give me like an hour and 50-minute Mario movie. I'm just saying it's good to leave a movie being like, I could have used more than that, right? Because now when they come out with number 2, I'm pretty sure number 2 is going to do just as well as number 1, right?
Yeah.
I have to imagine if this did this well. I have to think this has staying power too. Like, this is going to have legs. Like, if you do, how much did you say it did domestically first week? Was it like 200 mil?
Yeah, 224.
Dude, Mario's going to save the fucking movie theater. Like, James Cameron spent 10 years making a fucking sequel to a movie that he was claiming was going to change the like cinema. And quite frankly, I think it came out and nobody gave a shit. Like, I know people saw it and it made a bunch of money. I believe you'll tell me that it was the number 1 grossing movie worldwide this year, or is that domestic this year?
Domestic this year.
Yeah, you're going to tell me that, right?
Yeah.
Tell me in your regular life. So neither me nor you have seen this, correct?
No.
We are in the
we're in the gross minority.
Yes, I would say especially, like, I'll consider myself, I won't speak for you, I am in the hardcore movie fan, right? Like, I am in the movie theaters every single week, regardless what came out. Neither one of us saw this movie. The people I know who saw this movie could care less about this movie.
Yeah.
Right? So James Cameron dedicated so much time to this, recreating, like changing the way cinema's filmed and making a video game and a movie all spliced into one. These motherfuckers put out an hour and a half movie based on video games, looking like a video game, and it's gonna make just as much money. It's gonna, like, I guarantee the cost to make this movie in regards to what it's going to make back in the box office, it's gonna make the percentage wise just as much as Avatar, I have to imagine, at this point. If you come out at 200 mil week 1, like, what's the honestly, I'm trying to think of it now. Do you think it finishes over 100 mil domestic next week?
So I remember last week when we talked about this, and I was actually shocked that they projected, 80 to 90 million, right? Which they grossly exceeded. And you told me they were going to do well because of April vacation.
Yeah.
What I've recently learned is different schools do April vacation on different weeks. So some schools had it this past week and some schools have it this week. So I think they can carry that.
I think, so you said 220, right?
Yeah.
You said that's, what was do you have the budget with 100 mil for Mario?
100 mil. Yep.
So they've made their money and then some already at this point.
Yeah.
I think you're probably looking at a 55% drop off.
Okay.
Now, granted, we haven't talked about it yet. We talked about it off the pod. You only really have one movie coming out this week in terms of competition for a new release, and it's not a movie that's going to touch this audience at all. And despite the fact that this had a low Rotten Tomatoes score, I think word of mouth is carrying pretty strong on this movie. That day over day, like following Twitter, I see different reviews from different people being like, finally saw Mario, and it's always positive. Everybody who comes out of this movie is positive.
Yeah.
I might change my mind. I was going to say 55% drop off. I think it clears 100 mil.
You think it clears 100 mil this following weekend?
I do.
I think it drops to like 80.
The Power of the Child Dollar. And the power of babysitting through bringing a kid to a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I also think that this movie's already the number one movie. Can you look up pre-sales for Mario? Because I read something about Amazon, and I just don't want to misquote this.
What am I looking for? I'm sorry.
Amazon pre-sales from Mario the movie, like the digital release. This is where I struggle with getting people who can Google things. Like, I've given you the Google search, basically.
Yeah, no, you haven't. I still don't know what I'm looking for. It's great. Crap. Because now it came up on Amazon? No. I failed you. I'm sorry.
I'm working on it. Can you just, like,
Try.
fill some time for me?
Yeah, no, I got you, yeah.
Pre-sales of Mario movie on Amazon.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying here. But I just keep finding stuff about the budget and the box office performance, but I'm not seeing anything about. Are you talking about, like, so does Amazon actually do, like, movie tickets? Is that what this is?
What was the question?
Does Amazon do movie tickets? Is that what this is?
No, I'm saying, like, they already have the pre-release of, like, you can pre-order the movie for when it's going to come out on digital.
Gotcha.
The sales of that, I think, are already breaking records for Mario, and I don't disagree that this is not really going well for me on the Google search side either. I just read, like, a quick little, like, blurb somewhere about it breaking records. I don't know if it was the highest this year or if it's one of the highest all time. And that's why I didn't want to misquote it, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Either way, this movie's wildly successful, and I just feel like between the fact that, like, adults seem to really, really like this, and then also the fact that kids it plays to it, I think 100 mil's pretty realistic, dude. I think it's crazy. I think modern times. So what did Avatar do week 2?
They dropped to 63 mil
from
134 domestically.
They got shit on by Mario.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They got shit on. This is mind-blowing. It's really like dude, like, of the fact that a movie in this current climate, and fucking a Mario movie, is doing this well. And this is just going to give more credence to our conversation about, like, Rotten Tomatoes being the biggest load of bullshit ever. Yeah. Like, how are you this far off? And you tried to tank this movie, Rotten Tomatoes. You tried to fucking tank it, dropping a 55% the day before the movie came out. You wanted this to fail. And the general public was like, nah, I'm going to give it a shot. I've liked Mario since I was a little kid. And I think Mario, the most popular video game character of all time?
Maybe. I mean, they definitely have the longest run, right?
What else would be bigger? Because Sonic came after it, right? So
that's
it wouldn't be
huge
Sonic
franchise, though. Yeah,
but it wouldn't be so. And I guess, like, that's the biggest telltale for why we should have known this would be so successful, because those Sonic movies both did very well, and I think this is pretty. I don't know what's more impressive to me, because I think you've already seen with animated movies, things like Shrek have already, or Monsters Inc., you know, anything Pixar.
All those, like, family but kids movies kind of thing.
Yeah, generally do pretty well, right? Like, set records, things like that. I think maybe Sonic's more impressive because, for one, there was a lot of adversity that movie had before it came out, rather, with redoing, like, the CGI on Sonic and all of that stuff prior to the release.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's more impressive. Just live action, all of it. It's harder to do than animated. Animated's just going to always play to a bigger audience. But post-COVID, with the way the movie theater's been performing, like, this is massive. It's going to have legs. Maybe you're right. 80 mil. I think 80 mil is the more realistic. But I think the fact that this blew the number it was supposed to do in week 1 out, and doing with a 70%, because you're basically talking, like, if it went from 220 million down to 80 million, that is like a 70% drop off, right? Like,
but we're also talking about 220 million from the 5th to the 10th, so it's a 5-day stretch. If we're just talking about the 7th to the 9th, which is
we're talking
Friday,
week 2.
Saturday, Sunday.
We're talking week 2.
But if we want to give it a fair comparison, right? Then weekend would traditionally be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
So the 7th to the 9th, they did 146. That's where I'm pulling 80 million from.
Okay. So 146 is what Mario did on just the weekend.
Yeah.
And so Avatar did 130.
134, I think.
Okay. So that's more real. Okay. No, I get you. Yeah, no, you're probably right then. If you're just saying weekend, I think you're right. 80 million. That's probably fair. So at that point, it's more like a 40% drop off.
Yeah.
That's probably right. I think I agree. I mean, that's still fucking something. I thought the way that they set the movie up was really fun. I thought all of the characters were super enjoyable from like your 2, 3, or 4 main characters, right? Like Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Princess Peach, all great. I think Toad was a really, really good secondary character.
Yeah.
We didn't really get a Yoshi, right?
No, we got like a brief cameo, but...
So I imagine when you come out with a second one, you're going to integrate more of that. You got Donkey Kong.
Yeah, we even got a cameo of Diddy.
Yes. Yes, we did. I wonder if you integrate him more, too. But even, dude, like the Mario Kart integration was a ton of fun. All the different power-ups. This is just a fun movie, man. I think this movie's going to crush once it comes to video on demand, too. Because I think this movie plays really, really... I mean, like, the same kids that went to the movies that you brought the movies to... The kids that you brought to the movies this past week, right?
Yeah.
Imagine when you put this movie on when you get home.
And imagine how that translates to game sales.
Yeah, I mean, Mario games, they should have had a game ready to go.
Yeah.
Right now. You know what's weird? Have they ever done a Lego Mario game?
Not that I know of. I don't think so.
That'd be interesting, right? I know they haven't. And maybe it's just Nintendo doesn't want to, like, it'd be too expensive to license the character of Mario for Lego to want to do it. But imagine how sick that would be. Like, you hit the little power up and, like, Lego blocks come out of it or something. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like a world that would work pretty well with, like, a
I also
Lego
don't think they need it, though.
No, you're right. You're right. But, like, those two superpowers come together. In the marketing, you could do, like, a Lego run of Mario characters and all of that to go with it, which I'm sure that's been done before. They probably, you know what it is? Does Nintendo have their own version of Legos that they did?
I don't think so.
No. Wasn't there... Do you remember the Switch had that, they had, like, that coding game that they came out with, right? Like a thing?
Oh, yeah, like the cardboard thing, right?
Yeah. I just wonder if they did something like that with Lego. Yeah, I can see it right there. Yeah, it's a Mario World Lego, right?
Yeah, so they have Mario Lego sets, yeah.
Do you think Princess Peach is a top 5 hottest animated characters?
No.
You just don't want to go out on that limb?
No.
She's kind of a baddie in this movie.
If you say she's top 5, where are your other 4?
I don't know, Fiona when she's a ogre.
When she's an ogre? Or when she's human?
No, ogre.
Okay.
She's thicker, am I right, guys?
Well, then, in that case, what's the mom from The Incredibles?
Oh, damn. Yo, she number 1. She might deadass be number 1. Who's the old bitch from Monsters, Inc.?
The lady that, like...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, if it's your fetish, you know?
Teeth or no teeth?
No teeth, of course.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, everybody, please go see Mario. Please, it doesn't put any money in my pocket, but I thought I greatly enjoyed it. I've updated my rankings, so I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. That's not a bad score. That's kind of in the middle for me. I couldn't justify looking at what I've given 3.5 and 4 stars, putting it in that realm. I have the other things on my list that I believe were rated at 3 stars. I have it rated the same as Creed 3. I have it just in front of Shazam. So my ranking year to date goes for my movies that we've seen. John Wick Chapter 4 is still my number 1 movie of the year. Scream is my number 2. Then I have Creed 3. I have Super Mario coming in at 4. Shazam at 5. Dungeons and Dragons at 6. Ant-Man and the Wasp at 7. And 65 a distant 8th. Distant. Like, that thing's in hell.
Ant-Man, but was it that bad that it ends up behind Dungeons and Dragons?
I have them both ranked at 2.5 stars. So you could if it makes you feel better, if people would feel better, you can flip flop those, but they are the same exact score. It's just kind of how I think I left them. They're both the same.
I think we're gonna flip it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're being overly harsh, if I'm being honest, on Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think it was a bad movie by any means. I think it's very, like I said, I think it's a movie that by the end of the year you'll be like, oh, that came out. Like, I'm sure this is going to be fairly low on my rankings as we keep going through the year. We have some monsters coming out in May. We have some monsters coming out in June. So, nonetheless, Mario's going to fall down that list, I imagine. Because I have to hope there's stuff that's better than 3 stars coming down the line. Fast and Furious is probably a 5-star movie, let's be honest. So, like,
you don't give 5 stars to anything. So
yeah, this might be the first one, dude.
Stars for.
This might be the first one. This might be the first Momoa movie that I actually really like.
Ah, okay.
He's a
great wrestler.
Yeah, of course. All right, it is almost time to wrap up here. Before we do get out of here, let's give our thoughts. Have you watched anything that isn't Sabrina the Teenage Witch in the past week, nor Mario?
The only series I've been keeping up right now is the Power Ghost series.
Is this a spinoff to Power?
Yeah.
Prequel, sequel, what is it?
Sequel, so it's his son now.
Is it good?
I like it a lot.
How many episodes?
I think we're on 4 right now, with number 5 coming out this Friday.
Season 1?
Yeah. Or no, season 2.
Okay. Are you watching this on like the Stars app?
Yeah.
What service do you have to have? Just Stars?
So I did the Stars 6-month subscription, and they do like a deal where you get like 6 months for like $25 or something like that. So I was like, fuck it.
Can you perchance tell me anything else that's on Stars?
No.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was, because I truthfully, I wouldn't.
I guess BMF is on there too. I haven't watched it, but a lot of people have been telling me to watch it.
Don't know what that is. I just, maybe Stars isn't for me. Like, Power doesn't really do anything for me. Ballers, was that on there, or is that HBO?
Not sure, so I can't help.
Okay. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't watch that either, to be completely honest. I was just asking for my knowledge, my personal knowledge. Okay. So Book of Power. No, that's a different thing.
No, that is it. Book of Power.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're watching that. We're still watching Sabrina. Homework. Did we have any homework that we were going to give you for this week? If I give you homework, are you ever going to actually do it, or is this like a dog ate it situation?
I think it depends on the time I have to dedicate to it.
Like, I do think you need to start watching like a movie a week.
Okay.
Right. How about that's a fun thing? If anybody gets this far into the video, if we haven't fucking steered you away through the Amazon at this point, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or the Marry Fuck Kill segment somewhere in the middle.
I think we need more audience participation.
Yeah.
I think if I can get a weekly recommendation from the comments, I might be more inclined.
So, yeah, I mean, I do have some that I'd like to have you watch. I mean, I brought up some on here. So, like, I talked about Lake Placid. If you think you should see that, like, that could be a fun one.
Sure.
We've talked about, maybe you want to get him to watch Star Wars. That could be, like, like, if they say it, you got to do it.
That's a lot. I just said it matters how much time I have to dedicate to it, and that's a lot.
We got a lot of weeks in front of us, dude, and we got a lot of time to fill. I can't just bullshit about the jungle every week.
So the rest of this year is just me watching Star Wars.
Hey, dude, some weeks are drier than others, and you got to fucking dig up some topics. You know what I'm saying? I actually came across a surprising show, and this is something I would recommend you watching, Dante. I watched The Night Agent on Netflix. It came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's already been greenlit for a season 2. It's one of the most watched Netflix shows of all time, apparently.
That stat doesn't amaze me anymore.
No, because like they're the ones who create it.
Yeah.
It's like they're the ones who tell you it. So how do you even know if it's fucking real?
Yeah.
But I will say this. So if I had to give an easy comparison for people to kind of equate this show to, if you've seen the TV series version of the movie Shooter,
yes,
Bob Lee Swagger.
Yeah. I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I think I watched the majority of the first season.
So I've watched all of season 1 of that show. This feels a lot like that show,
okay.
like that level of entertainment. Not going to blow you away with anything. The acting's not always amazing or anything, but I found it to be a pretty enjoyable kind of action mystery show. It's traitors in the White House and bullshit like that. Like I'm kind of into those in general, as we've probably diagnosed at this point. So
yeah, you're Conspiracy theorist.
Quick, no, I'm not. A quick 10 episodes. I think the world is round. A quick 10 episode flow. A quick 10 episode like show that I kind of just burned through. Literally, I think I watched it in like a day and a half. I just started watching it one night at like 10 o'clock and just burned through like 5 episodes, went through the next 5 the next day, and really, really enjoyed it. I also finally started Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime.
You've been talking about that one for a while.
Yeah, I've been like putting it off because I know I would really, really like it. I like all of the Jack Ryan movies, all 5. That could be a fun little homework assignment you give Dante too. He's never seen any of those. I know he hasn't. He couldn't even name any of the 5.
You got me.
No, I know I did. Hunt for Red October. You familiar with that movie?
Nope.
Wow, you've never even heard of it?
Nah.
Jesus. Clear and Present Danger?
Nope.
Patriot Games?
Nope.
Sum of All Fears?
Why does that sound familiar?
Ben Affleck, Morgan Freeman. Came out in the year 2002-ish.
I might have seen that.
Okay, I hate that movie. It's like my least favorite of all of them. Then Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit came out in 2014.
No.
It's a Chris Pine movie. Stars Keira Knightley and Kevin Costner as well.
Huh.
But yeah, I've been watching the new show. I'm a full season in. The first season was awesome. I'm glad I've waited this long because I'm like glad I have 3 seasons worth of the show to kind of watch through. But yeah, it's I'm gonna keep watching it. It's been well worth the trip. I'm glad to be like back into TV shows. I've been kind of out on TV shows for a while. I've been a video game guy. I've been kind of just watching shit on YouTube, podcasts, whatever it might be. But getting back into TV shows, there's nothing quite like it, right?
I think that nowadays they're putting a lot more production value into TV shows, and I'm enjoying them a little bit more.
Well, that's the thing with having streaming is that it's such a competitive landscape, I think, too, that you have to like put out high quality stuff. And Amazon especially is like everything Amazon does is expensive, right? And I mean, they have endless money, so I'm not surprised by that. But you think about that movie, The Tomorrow War, that they came out with.
That was the Tom Cruise movie, right?
Nope, it's Chris Pratt. And but that movie's super expensive. You have the Lord of the Rings show, which is for sure like very, very expensive. I think that was also called Rings of Power, or Book of Power, one of them. You know,
The Book of Power. Have a crossover episode.
So like that was pretty expensive, and then yeah, this like this is not a cheap show by any means, and they've also just had good shows along the way. There was a Kate Beckinsale show that I was scrolling through that I watched like a few years ago that I remember really, really liking. It never got a season 2, I don't think, though, and I don't remember the name right now. It's not really important. But yeah, Jack Ryan, if you've watched it out there, let me know what you thought of the first season. Don't spoil 2 or 3 for me. I'm just getting into them. Do me that favor. I'll time code that in your comments down below the same way I'll time code my spoilers and the stuff up above. Verdict's out. I don't think I'm going to see Renfield this week. I know you're kind of interested in it. I don't know. There could be a time like Friday or Saturday night, or just Thursday will roll around and I'll be like, I might as well just go.
It might end up being a next week thing just because of how my work schedule is, but I do kind of want to check it out.
I like Nicolas Cage, but I just don't know if I care about this movie or not.
Yeah.
Other than that, anything we're going to be watching coming up? No, I don't think so. Max Holloway makes his return to the UFC this weekend, fighting Arnold Allen. I'm pulling for Max. It's a 50-50 fight. We'll see how it goes. Shout out to Izzy for this giant win this weekend. Other than that, I think we are wrapping things up. Let us know what you're going to be watching. Let us know what Dante should watch in the next week for homework down below, please. Did you learn anything about the Amazon? Maybe. Hopefully. What would you marry, fucking kill out of that list? We know what Dante's into. His fetishes now. he's.
I quit.
Oh, what's that fucking cat's name, dude?
Are you talking about? No, we're not doing this.
All right. You can find us at Good Taste Live on Twitter. You can find us at For Those With Good Taste on Instagram. You can find us anywhere podcasts are provided, such as Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio.
These nuts.
Pandora. Not the bracelets, the radio station. Dante, they can find you where? These nuts.
Oh,
motherfucker, got you. Yeah,
that was great.
Where can they find you?
Dirty Water ENT on Twitch, Dirty Water _ENT on YouTube and Instagram.
And we have been For Those With Good Taste, and we will continue to be. Until next week. Peace.
For those with good taste.